Well, as we all know, nothing beats a Jet2 holiday, and nothing beats a Dovetail Direct for wasting our time. But that's what I would have said last year. This year's a bit different because it's probably the most interesting new version of Train Sim World for quite a long time. Now we're going to have a full video about it within a few days, so for now it's just me talking to myself about what I think about the Dovetail Direct. I haven't watched the roadmap stream, I'm not interested in that for the moment, it's just the Dovetail Direct. So there are, as usual, 3 routes, one of which is the Morristown line. Now, this is in Train Simulator. Now in Train Simulator, it is the North Jersey Coast and Morristown lines. So that's 2 routes effectively. So what we're getting in Train Sim World is basically half of what there is in Train Simulator. The Arrow EMU is basically the only brand new train in the standard edition of Train Sim World 6. If you want any other completely new trains, you have to upgrade. So it's quite interesting that they went with that. I don't particularly like it. Now it also comes with the ALP 46, which is already in the game. Nothing seemingly new with it, I don't know why they bothered really. And the ALP 45DP is the deluxe edition loco, which isn't different enough from the ALP 46, at least to me, to make it actually worth the upgrade. Obviously it's bi-mode as opposed to just electric, but I still think they're very similar trains. And that's the same thing with the 802. So the Riviera line is the UK route. It looks okay, I guess. It comes with the same 150 that came with the Cardiff route. And of course the Class 220 is the deluxe edition loco, but it's in the old livery with the old interior. And that's ironic, seeing that the entire 220 and 221 fleet is being refurbished into the new cross-country livery with a brand new interior. And the last route is an interesting one. It's Leipzig to Dresden, which is an extended version of Riesa to Dresden. Now they weren't completely clear if you'd get Leipzig to Dresden if you already owned Riesa to Dresden. I'm pretty sure that if you own Leipzig to Dresden, you'll also get Riesa to Dresden, but not necessarily the other way around. Now it's worth noting it doesn't come with all of the trains of Riesa to Dresden. So you won't be able to do any shunting because the BR363 doesn't appear to be in the route. But if you're planning to upgrade to the deluxe edition, you'll get a BR294, which I admit is a very cool locomotive to have. But is it worth getting rid of a 363? I don't know. So, the interesting part of the Dovetail Direct is the new features. Now, this is the first time there's ever been a Dovetail Direct, the first time that they've ever introduced the new Train Sim World, and the new features are actually interesting, to me at least. Because we've got random events in timetable mode, we've got train faults in timetable mode, announcements, and the SD40 on the training centre, but we don't talk about that. Now I do have some concerns. The random events and train faults appear to be exclusively for specific trains. So if you want train faults or random events on any route released before Train Sim World 6, you're out of luck, quite frankly. But it's a start, I guess. And unfortunately, I think that the random events that they went for, they aren't really enough. There's signal delays, and there's temporary speed restrictions, but there's no failed trains or blockages on the line. So you're getting a very limited amount of random events. And of course, you're not getting the Zeusy style automation of delays baked in to how the game interprets the timetable. It's still fundamentally just a scenario with less going on. And that's why I don't play timetable mode, and I probably won't be doing it after Train Sim World 6 comes out either. Now they did the silly and annoying take a ticket thing that they did last year, and they announced some actually quite interesting things. Now there's dovetail routes, which are probably not going to be very good, and there are ones by third parties, which are much more interesting. So we've got a new Czech route, Czech Republic in Train Sim World. That's interesting, I like it, and it's got the 750, the really ugly locomotive that I quite like because of how ugly it is. So that's probably the route I'm the most interested in. much more than the base routes that come with Train Sim World 6. Crew to Birmingham by All Aboard Studios with a Class 350. That one's got some history to it that I'm not allowed to talk about. The Tadami line, that looks absolutely beautiful. I have no idea how the unit is going to be to drive or sound. The Train Simulator version sounds horrible, absolutely horrible, and Union Workshop's stuff in Train Simulator is okay at best. Now, the Stuttgart route is set in the early 2000s, and it comes with the BR140, and I really hope the TSG are doing it. Because they did well with the BR103, less so with the 110. TSG definitely are doing the expert BR145. Now, it comes in 2 liveries, which is interesting, I guess. I've got no idea why they chose that locomotive in particular when there's a Ludmilla that they're meant to be working on, and a bunch of other things that we've been waiting for quite a long time. The Portuguese route, on the other hand, is quite interesting. It only comes with 1 train, an EMU, and it looks interesting, but I'm not sure. But hopefully it does raise the possibility of Spanish trains in Train Sim World in the future, which I think they're something that I'd be much more interested in. And last of all, by far the most interesting and likely to be good third-party route from the Take a Ticket thing is Preston to Crewe by Just Trains, with the correct Class 86, the 86-4, that's the 86-4, which is the one that can do freight, unlike the 86-2 that they released a little while ago. And it's also going to come with a Class 20, which will be interesting because the Class 20, even as it is now, is one of the best trains in Train Sim World. I don't know how they're going to upgrade it, but hopefully it ends up being even better than the one we've got now. So, yeah, that's all. That's all I have to say. It's coming out on the 25th and the 30th of September, because Dovetail like doing a thing, like other developers, of gatekeeping the game from people who don't pay up enough money. So, I'll be getting the free starter pack. I probably won't be buying the base pack, the standard edition, until it goes massively on sale, as I do every year. Overall, not very interesting, but equally interesting, in a way. Anyway, full review coming out soon, if you're interested, which you're probably not. Anyway, see you soon. Ta-ra.